Hello kids! In this video I am going to explain the 2 points that you had to do today in physics class. So let's start from here, from this one. From the description of Neil's journey below, construct a distance and time graph. So we have to create the graph that is described in this paragraph. So Neil left home at 12 p.m. So the home is here in 0 and 12 p.m. So home is here. And after an hour and a half, so 1 hour and a half, look, 12 and 1, 13 hours. This is the 1 p.m. And 1.5, so 1 hour and a half. Moving at a constant speed, he traveled 44 miles. So 44 miles here, more or less here. And remember, this is constant speed, so it is joined by a straight line, okay? But let me erase this. Let me do it properly. Okay, 1 hour and a half, 44, and straight line, more or less like that. After that, at which point he stopped. So he stopped here. After 3 hours of being stopped, so he didn't move for 3 hours. So he stood here in this place, He stood here for 3 hours. So if every single of these squares is half an hour, because look, this is an hour, this is half an hour. So let's count 3 hours. So half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. He didn't move for 3 hours. So here, sorry, 3 hours, 1, 2, 3 hours here. Okay. So he didn't move during this time. Remember that a completely horizontal line represents that the mobile is not moving. After that, he drove towards at a constant speed. And it took him 2 hours in total to get home. So 2 hours after that, so he is in this moment of the time, he is in 4 o'clock, 4.5, sorry. 2 hours after that, here, look, 1 hour, 2 hours. He went back home. So from this point, he went back. And this is the graph of the point 1. Now, let's continue with this point. Okay, so for this, we have to understand some things, okay? First, each unit, how much time does it represent? So look, the time is measured in hours, because here we see the hours during the day. It starts at 17. That means 5 o'clock. 5 and 15, 5 and 30, 5 and 45, 6 p.m., 6 and 15. Well, so if this is 15 minutes, each of these squares, each of these units, should be 7 minutes and a half. Why? Because 15 divided by 2 is 7.5, 7.5. Okay, each unit is 7.5 minutes. And what about the distance? It is measured in kilometers, and 10 kilometers, 20, 30, each one of these units represents 5 kilometers. Now, let's see. How long was she stationary? Because we are talking about Valentina and going for a bike ride. So how long was she stationary? Remember, stationary means that she is not moving, okay? Stationary means not moving. Sorry. So it is something similar to here, to this part. Remember, a completely horizontal line means that the mobile is not moving. So the only part where she is stationary is this part, okay? How long? ¿Cuánto tiempo? So during this period of time to this one, this part. So from here to here. And remember, each of these units is 7.5 minutes. So she was not moving during 7.5 minutes. Now, point 2. What was the total distance traveled during her journey? That means going and going back. So let's count each of the sections how much distance she made. So in this section, what was the distance? This from 0 to 5, so 5 kilometers. This section, what was the distance? Okay, from here to here, from 5 to 25. That is 25 meters, sorry, kilometers. From this section, in this section, remember, she didn't move, so we didn't move. That is 0 kilometers. And finally, the last section of the graph. So she was in the kilometer 25, and then she went back to the kilometer 0. In total, she made 25 kilometers. Okay? Okay, in this case, I know she is going back, but we don't put the negative because we want to know the total distance that she traveled, regardless if it was going back or going to the destination point. So we are going to forget about that in this case. And we are going to add all of that, and the result of that addition is 50 kilometers. And finally, okay, let me erase all of these lines. And let me put it again. What was her average speed in kilometers per hour? Okay, this is important. Between 17 and 15 and 17 and 45. So between this time frame, okay? So we are talking about the velocity or the speed in this section. Remember, kids, in order to find the velocity or the speed of something, we can calculate speed is distance divided by time. So what is the distance? The distance that she made in this section was from 5 kilometers to 25. In total, she made 20. So the distance is 20 kilometers divided by time. What is the time? The time is from 17 and 15 to 17 and 45. All of that is half an hour. Okay, so half an hour, 30 minutes. But remember, look, I am going to write it here, 30 minutes. But we want to write it in kilometers per hour. This is not in hour. We have to transform that to hours. And remember, as we saw today in class, 30 minutes is 0.5 hours. So we use this name instead, 0.5 hours. And if we make the division, we will get that is 40 kilometers per hour.